The sterile hospital room hummed with electric tension as her parents leaned over the bed, their hearts racing. After weeks of agonizing uncertainty, their daughter's eyes had finally fluttered open, breaking through the impenetrable veil of her coma. Tears cascaded down their cheeks, their trembling fingers intertwined with hers, a silent prayer of gratitude etched in every touch. They had believed they would never see her wake again, never hear her voice, never witness the rise and fall of her breath. This moment felt like a resurrection, a breathless miracle against the doctor's grim predictions. But then she spoke, just a few words in a voice that shattered their fragile hope like fine glass. Something in her voice and the blank unfamiliarity of her gaze told them that the daughter they had known was gone. Whatever had returned to them was someone or something entirely different. And in that instant, they knew that their journey was just beginning. Laura Van Ren was an ordinary student at the time. She belonged to a cozy family of 4 with the imminent aspiration to go to college. As a teen of her generation, Laura embraced life's fullest she ever could as promised for when young. It was only destined that she had such an unforeseeable future tragedy that completely tore her family apart. It all began on what seemed like a normal school trip. Laura was excited to join her classmates and teachers for a day of learning and fun. The group traveled together in a van, their laughter and chatter filling the air as they looked forward to the activities ahead. However, the joyful day would end in heartbreak. The students were filled with contentment yet regret as the van headed back to school, but little did they know what disaster was lying ahead. Suddenly, without warning, a high-speed collision with another vehicle changed everything. The violent impact sent debris scattering across the road as chaos erupted. In the end, 5 people lost their lives, one of them being Laura's good friend, Whitney Sack. Laura was also critically injured. She lay unconscious at the scene. By the time Laura reached the hospital, she was in a very bad state. The doctors did their best to stabilize her, but the outlook was poor. Laura had fallen into a coma, and her future was unclear. Her family was in a state of despair. Laura's parents and brothers took turns sitting by her hospital bed, holding her hand, and hoping for a miracle. The sight of their once spirited daughter, lying unresponsive, hooked up to machines, was almost too much to bear. Doctors warned them that even if Laura were to wake up, her life would never be the same. She had suffered significant brain damage, which could alter her personality and behavior permanently. The days went by, turning into weeks, and the waiting game became an endurance test. Laura's parents, however, still clung to hope and never gave up on their daughter. Gradually, signs of progress began to appear. The medical team started reporting small but promising improvements in her condition, casting a glimmer of hope in the hearts of her family. But even in such disheartening news, Laura's family was steadfast to pray and believe she would beat the odds. For them, her survival and recovery, no matter how long it took, were worth every moment of heartache. When their prayers were finally answered, the Van Ren family thought their nightmare was over. The teen opened her eyes, and her family erupted with joy. They hugged one another, smiling through tears, and thanked the doctors for their tireless efforts. Laura seemed to be improving little by little, moving her body and showing signs of trying to communicate. But their joy turned to confusion when her first attempts at speaking raised questions about her identity. As she grew stronger, the young woman managed to write something down on a piece of paper. Her family had stayed by her side through sleepless nights, believing they were helping their beloved daughter recover. But what she wrote changed everything. The name she scribbled wasn't Laura. It was Whitney. It was a shocking revelation. The girl they all thought was Laura Van Ren was Whitney Sack. Terribly, Laura had died in the accident and not survived it, as had originally been believed. Whitney and Laura looked so similar that all their families and the authorities alike had mistaken one for another. It wasn't until Laura yawned, revealing teeth that were unfamiliar to them, did the Van Ren family catch something was off. Soon, they spotted a belly button piercing she didn't have in her former life. As their memories and abilities continued coming back, the truth was incontrovertible. It was a bittersweet reunion, filled with relief and gratitude for the Sacks. The Sacks' daughter, lost so long ago, lived. For the Van Wrens, on the other hand, the realization brought home waves of heartbreak while in mourning anew over a daughter lost. But against this tragedy, the bond thus forged between the two families could hardly ever be broken. "There are some things in life that simply defy explanation," said Laura's father. Faith and resilience throughout their grief gave the Van Wrens the strength to endure the unimaginable. Whitney, meanwhile, had her own crosses to bear. She woke up to the surreal news of her own funeral and the bittersweet truths revealed in the eulogies. With humor and grace, she recalled how her pastor mentioned she wasn't very athletic and how her siblings had joked that they didn't think she showered enough. Nevertheless, Whitney was able to struggle through the trauma and create her way forward. She totally recovered, made her way back into everyday life, and became a physical education teacher. Remaining close to the Van Wrens, Whitney also added to their book on their extraordinary ordeal entitled Mistaken Identity. The book accounts for every piece of the pre-shock moments and the development of special bonding between the two families. What do you think about this incredible story? Share with us your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this tale, then hit that like button, share with friends, and subscribe to our channel for more uplifting and touching stories. Wait for our next video. See you soon.